Hey everybody, it is your boy Baseman Awakens checking in with you for the latest video on the Baseman Awakens YouTube channel. For those of you who are listening to my channel for the first time, I am Baseman Awakens and I welcome you here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm always putting out quality content on the regular that covers many different topics: red pill, SHTF, economics, what's going on in society, relationships. But today I'm going to be talking about a very important red pill topic. And this topic is, or the fact that men need to recognize, and it took me years till I got into my 30s to recognize that the more we do for a woman, the less she respects us. And the other side to that is the more likely she is to cheat. Now, guys, for those of you who are not familiar with the red pill and MGTOW lifestyle, I'm not MGTOW, obviously. This might seem like a shock, but honestly, in terms of understanding female nature, base carnal female nature, it is true. And the reason why this is true is because of male and female dynamics. A woman always wants to be with a high value man, a man that has wealth, that has status, that has looks, or a combination of. And one of the ways that a man demonstrates his status, that he's more valuable than her, is that by basically he makes her work, right? And it's kind of interesting because this topic flows out of the video I did last week about the importance of a man shit testing a woman, which is forcing a woman to prove her value to that man. He knows her character, he knows her level of commitment by making her go through exercises and challenges and scenarios. But men, there's also a flip side to that, where if we don't shit test women, right? If we don't do tests to see how committed the woman is to us, and if we don't get an idea of her character, then in many situations, what we start to do is then shift power over to her. And this is where men, including myself for most of my life, make that critical relationship mistake. I know how society teaches us that women want to be with a man that loves them and then puts them on this pedestal, but that is not true. Female nature states emphatically, factually, that a woman always wants to be to a man who's more valuable than her. So the mistakes that guys make is that we pretty much end up doing everything that she wants. So we sacrifice our goals, we sacrifice our integrity, we sacrifice our hobbies to please her in the long run, right? And the irony in doing that is that she ends up losing respect. And you would too if the situation was flipped, right? Guys, we got to be honest. If you had a friend, not necessarily a woman, right? Because I think that's a man's dream for a woman to be exactly what he wants her to be. But more, like your boss or a coworker or someone that, you have power over, where if they did every single thing you wanted them to do, they sacrificed their hobbies, they sacrificed their individuality, of course, you would start to lose respect for them as well. And again, in understanding female nature, men should try to put ourselves into the mind of a female, and the average female has the mentality and mind of a child. Yeah, I said it. The average woman has the mentality of a child. So we should try to put ourselves into having the mind frame of a child. And if we were able to think from that perspective, female nature would actually make a lot of sense. All right, so that's the first aspect of why I want to talk about it. And the second aspect, which really motivated me to do the video, is the fallout on the man. What happens to the man who was like, oh, everything was going straight, and then one day your woman ends up leaving you, or you find out she's cheating on you, and then you find out the dude that she was cheating on you with, which in most cases, the man actually thinks has lower value than himself. So she's cheating on you with the bum, she's cheating on you with, she's a career woman, like the young intern, so on and so forth. And again, it goes back to what a woman actually thinks is more valuable, which is the irony in this, right? And I was having this conversation with a very, very close friend of mine, because he's been married for about, I think, 4 or 5 years. Him and his wife have 2 kids together, and you would think just from looking at that they are the ideal, nuclear American ish type family. You know, they got the house out in the suburbs. He drives a nice sedan. She drives a nice SUV. But he actually found out recently that she was cheating on him with one of her coworkers. And you know, that's my boy. So when he called me up, he told me, of course, trying to be there for him. And he was telling, he's like, you know, I did everything for this woman. You know, I worked real hard at the company I'm at, and I got 2 promotions. You know, I've been doing a lot of overtime. You know, she wants to go on vacation here or there. I make sure that we are able to go 2 or 3 times a year. You know, she wants to put our kids into these extracurricular activities. I'm going out there and making that happen. And I'm like, thank God for the red pill, man. Because the truth is, he actually made her life too easy. He was catering to her every need. And in understanding female nature, women love to complain about everything because that's what they do. But in reality, they really don't want most of those things that they complain about either fixed, or if there are needs, they don't want actually to be addressed. And again, I had to learn this the hard way. When I was in my 20s, I'm not gonna lie, man, I was simping on a whole nother level. And it wasn't until, you know, I started down this baseman, you know, a baseman awakens, right? Awakening from my base level perspective, that I really began to understand female nature. And that in most situations, the man, if a woman really loves a man, all he has to do is to bring himself and his spirit and his knowledge of self to the table. Not trying to say that she's going to deal with an absolute bum or anything like that. But for the most part, your woman's going to ride with you and be with you because of who you are. And again, me becoming awakened to female nature, an aspect of baseman awakens, and then implying some of the red pill and also nearly fuller logical perspective, you know, way of thinking and behaving, actually allowed me to find a woman and maintain a relationship in which not only is she happy or happy with what goes on, but at the same time, she's also had to prove her worth to me. And if you want to know more about that, check out the video I did on the necessity of men shit testing women. Now, I'm thinking about the next steps, guys. So the funny thing is, right? So in terms of just recapping the importance, man, and understanding that the more men do for women, the less they'll respect us. I can even give you other examples where think about when we were in high school, right? And the men that were popular, like the football players, the jocks, and the bad boys, they didn't have to do anything to get access to those women. But the men who were not valued as much or not select had to come with the cars, had to come with the gifts, had to come with listening on the phone to the nonsense that these women talk about, and so on and so forth. So I think, like, for men who are new to this type of information or a way of thinking, it reinforces the importance of a man putting himself first, putting his priorities, his hobbies, his health, his agenda first. And as a part of the dating game / dating ritual that men and women engage in, women are going to naturally shit test men, and then men should be naturally shit testing women. And that, at least for the man's aspect of things, is reminding a woman that he comes first, and he's constantly testing her fidelity, and most important, he's making her earn the right to be around him. Now, guys, I'm going to keep this video short. I just want to share my thoughts on accepting the important fact of female nature, that the more men do for women, the less they respect us. And the hidden aspect to that is the more likely they are to cheat on us. I would love to get your feedback and perspective on this topic in the comments. So remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll check in with you soon.